All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Intoxicated Sports Report, coming to you previously recorded from the Johnson Street studio. I am Gage Samoji. The man to my right is Mr. Emerson Hipp, and we are back in the motherland, baby.
The US of A.
US of A, we missed you. Whew.
I gotta say, it feels weird being here, but it feels right at the same time.
Yeah, miss Paris, I really do.
That was a good time.
We were ready to leave, but you never really want to leave.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to be home.
Yeah, your own bed feels good after not sleeping in it for a while.
Well, yeah, because
especially.
Yeah, you slept in a really...
How was your guys' sleeping situation? I don't even... Was it fine?
I thought the bed was comfortable.
Really
comfortable.
Nice.
What I figured out was it was...
Two twins, right?
Two twins, and there was a mattress topper on top of it.
Yeah.
And there was most nights, I woke up pretty hot. Like I told you before, just drenched in sweat. I don't know if that's because we were underneath the heater. It was kind of just pumping up.
Yeah, could have been.
And, heat rises, obviously.
Yeah.
But, because I really only felt like I adjusted, or I slept really well, probably 2 nights that we were there. I actually slept well.
I'm with you, 2, maybe 3 at best. I don't ever think I truly adjusted, though. Because even when coming back, my sleep schedule was fucking not on par with being in Europe, so.
The first couple days coming back here was bad. I remember, the Friday the Friday after coming back, the first day we were back here,
yeah.
I didn't work. And I remember it being 5 o'clock, we're just about ready to eat dinner over at Devin's house, and I was dead tired.
Yeah.
I could have fell asleep easily.
I fell asleep at 4, I think.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry. That was the first day. But yeah, I was getting tired pretty early in the nights.
The one thing I'm going to say, what I like about us being back and still being kind of in the time change zone, at least I am, is that I'm going to bed earlier and I'm waking up earlier, which for me is ideal.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't like, I used to sleep in all the time and I don't like doing it anymore.
Right.
And I work, so it's nice to get a good night's sleep before a day of work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the one thing I'll take. I'll have the silver lining to it is, you're tired.
Totally.
For the first probably week and a half. But it's nice because you're getting. I feel like I get a good night's sleep.
Right.
Because I'm not napping during the day when I work because I can't.
Yeah. I don't think I've slept in past 8 o'clock since we've been back. So, and I'm used to sleeping until 11 or later most of the time.
No. Even a few days ago when I was violently hungover, I didn't sleep in until 10.
Yeah.
I pretty much slept in until Garrett dropped my wall.
Yeah.
Which we'll probably get to a little bit later.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, it's nice to be back. It's home.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat home. My checking account said it was time to come home too, so it's nice. Being back to work kind of kicked my ass, especially today. Can't really explain why. That's just how it is.
What a loser, you work.
Yeah, right. Look at the tables have turned. I used to be you, you used to be me. But you'll be getting a job soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the idea. I don't think you want to be jobless for the rest of your life,
No,
right?
That's not the plan.
So. What are we sipping on today? What are we sipping on?
For some reason yesterday, I was really in the mood for a cucumber margarita, but I didn't have any cucumbers in the fridge, so we delayed that till today.
It's really refreshing.
Yeah, it's nice. This is going to be in the summertime cocktail mix for sure.
You know what Devin sent me on TikTok? Was this girl found high noons, but with tequila in them. And it looked real. She had the pack, she had the drinks, the label. What's the label around high noons? It's blue. Isn't
it's a white with a blue circle.
These ones are green.
And blue on the bottom. Yeah, white and then blue. Yeah.
These ones are green.
Interesting.
So I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's a fake, and I hope it comes to California by summertime because we could crush those.
Yeah. Do a quick check on the internet.
That could be bad news for us come summertime.
Yeah, right.
You know what I was thinking today with this weather that's been going on? It was really cold and windy today. Usually I don't bitch about it being cold, but it was cold today.
Yeah, it was cold.
I was thinking I cannot wait for about 3 or 4 months from now. When it's May, when it's June,
right.
5 months from now when it's July. I cannot wait for summertime, poolside, drinks in my hand when the sun's out, catching a nice sunburn. Can't wait.
Oh yeah. Not seeing anything here.
No? Nothing?
Let's see.
On the High Noon website?
Yeah, that'll tell you. Of course, I gotta tell them how old I am.
Yeah, tell them how old you are. Don't say you're 2 years old like I did on TikTok. Don't do that.
Oh, it even knows my birthday already.
There you go. As long as you put in, like,
Yeah.
you should put in like 2,000. Just put in like 2,000, you'll be fine.
I
Let's
don't
see.
want them to think I'm a child. Let's see.
I'm gonna be really disappointed if this is not real.
Let's go flavors.
No,
Those
this
are all vodka.
This is not what I'm looking for. This is not. So you see how the label's blue?
Yeah.
It was green.
Green. Okay. Maybe it's something
It's
that's
gonna be coming
coming soon.
I would really hope so.
But yeah, nothing on the.
And you know, how hard could it be to make your own tequila drinks? You know, just get Topo Chico plain and then get tequila. But
Yeah.
it'd be cool if it was high noons.
No doubt.
Whatever.
Yep. Not there.
That's just
but
what she showed me. That's what I saw.
we'll see.
I know on the internet. It's
Coming
very,
to a summer near you.
I mean, can you? I mean, I can't wait. I'm thinking about NASCAR. Like I am so dialed. I'm so
I'm sorry.
dialed in for June 11th.
I'm ready for
I
NASCAR
am
for sure.
Dialed.
Yeah. I'm ready for baseball season too.
It's coming.
As you can see, you had your Giants beanie on. I got my Giants attire ready.
I
to
am
roll.
going a very rare hatless episode today. I came in here. I had this, you know, my nice Carhartt vest on. It's a little warm in here.
It is toasty.
I feel, you know, I know I'll wear a beanie here again, but just feel a little hot. I like how my hair looks in the video, so I just roll with it. If it looked like shit, it would not be. I'd be wearing my hat. Believe that.
Believe that. All right. So we talked about what we're drinking, right?
Yes, we did.
I guess what's on tap then, Gage?
Daytona was on Sunday. It
Yeah.
was a great race.
That was a good finish.
The finish was great.
Yeah.
It was really
A lot of chaos.
really fun. Some Champions League news that Emerson will talk to you about. NBA.
I was going to give you Champions League, dude.
Yeah, I would botch Champions League. What are you talking about? NBA All-Star Weekend was here, kind of a snooze fest. Come Sunday night. But I'm a fan of the stuff up until the game. I can care less about the game. I like the three-point comp. I like the dunk contest. Sometimes that
Yeah.
sucks too.
Yeah.
I even like the skills competition.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
We have some a little bit of football news. You know us, we can't not talk about football. It's just how we are.
There's always some stuff.
And then, of course, last call.
Yeah.
As always.
Yep. But first things first, let's talk about racing.
Yeah.
Yes, Daytona 500 was on Sunday. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got the W, just his third career win. And, you know, it's kind of funny that all of his wins have come on super speedways, which tells you that he's just really not that good.
Is that what
So
you think
super
it means?
speedways kind of are, you know, it feels like anyone has a chance. You know, and you couldn't really say that about every other track.
So are you saying that because it would take more skill to drive, let's say, a Sonoma than it would a super speedway?
Well, super speedway, the playing field is leveled because they use restrictor plates that limit how fast the car can actually go, which is why you see them drive in packs.
Okay.
Rather than like get spread out over the course of the race.
So there are super speedways. There are
There are short tracks,
Short
which are going to be
tracks.
your Bristol and your Martinsville and your Richmond. There's the mile and a half, which are the very boring races.
okay.
And then there's road courses.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which Sonoma's road course.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare courses that you turn left and right.
Right. Which there are actually like, I want to say 7, maybe even 8 of them on the schedule now.
Nice.
Which there used to only be 2. It used to be Sonoma and Watkins Glen up in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Or New York, wherever that is.
I gotta think as a NASCAR driver, you kind of like turn both ways, right?
It's got to be more interesting, right? But NASCARs are not necessarily meant for that, but it does make for more interesting racing.
Yeah.
More skillful racing. Of course, Ricky Stenhouse is not anyone's team in our pool this year because he sucks. he's most famous for dating Danica Patrick for a few years.
Oh.
If it was even that long, it may not have been that long.
Because I've heard this name. I mean, it seems like it's a somewhat big name in the NASCAR ranks.
Yeah, he's been actually in Cup Series for like, I think this is his 12th or 13th season.
Ricky Stenhouse Sr. Did he do anything in NASCAR?
Don't know who that is.
Okay. He's somebody.
he existed.
Yeah. No,
unless you just decided to drop Junior on his name just for the hell of it.
nobody does
Doubtful.
that. Nobody does that.
But the top finishers in the pool: Joey Logano finished 2nd, Christopher Bell 3rd.
I miss you.
Yeah, Daniel Suarez 7th, Ryan Blaney 8th, and Ross Chastain 9th.
Dude,
All the top 10 finishers there.
I know you have no sympathy in the slightest for me. I don't expect you to. Kyle Larson, man, you
Yeah.
could have had a top 5 finish,
Oh, yeah.
an easy top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he was up there.
He got turned. He crashed into the wall pretty hard.
He hit the wall very, very hard.
He did. So I hope he's doing okay. I'm sure.
I thought it was really cute that he finished the race nose to nose with your boy Blaney.
That was very reminiscent of what happened to Garrett a few years ago. Not nearly as bad, but the same kind of situation.
Because Blaney wasn't the one who wrecked Larson, but yes, just very very ironic.
Yeah, they were kissing.
Yeah.
And if you know NASCAR, it's not supposed to happen that way.
Noses are not supposed to touch.
No.
One cool thing that came out of this, Travis Pastrana finished 11th. This is apparently a one-off race for him this season.
I am glad that you mentioned this because this was going to be a last call thing for me.
Yeah, well, sorry about it.
No, it's okay. It's cool. I'm glad you mentioned it. You know, I remember I asked you and your dad, before Daytona started, would you say, I think I asked you, would you guys guess that Travis Pastrana even finishes the race? And you guys said,
well, yeah, we would have been.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's incredibly hard
to
just jump into a car like this and finish.
Right.
Let alone finish almost in the top 10.
Yeah.
So shout out to Travis Pastrana. He has shown that he can pretty much ride anything with an engine in it. It's incredible. Is this his first race in NASCAR?
He raced in the Xfinity Series for at least one season, if not multiple.
Okay.
So he's driven in NASCAR before.
Okay.
He's never driven in the Cup Series, though. One thing that was interesting about him finishing 11th is that he actually was involved in the very last crash, but somehow I guess he was able to limp his car back to the finish line.
Yeah, congrats. That's cool.
Back to chronological order, Brad Keselowski won stage 1.
If I was Alex, I'd be like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Well, this is the one race he's going to finish well.
Yeah, right.
There was a stage 2 wreck that took out Tyler Reddick, who is back with Dylan this year, and Chase Elliott, former champion.
Bye.
Sorry, Garrett.
Sorry, Garrett.
Ross Chastain was the winner of stage 2, so he scored the first point of the year for Dylan. There were like we mentioned already, the end was pretty wild. There were 3 crashes in the final 3 laps, and that forced 2 overtimes, which is green and white checkered.
Shout out to your dad for having the over in cautions.
Yeah, right.
In the last.
Well, because there was a wreck with 18 laps left, I believe. 17, 18 laps left, and
your dad said, "What's the over?"
Yeah,
2.5.
we put it at 2.5.
And it was what?
3.
3, yeah.
Of course, the last one came with half a lap left in the race. But big names that were involved in the last lap crash: Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, and Denny Hamlin. 17 DNFs total in this race, so not a lot of guys technically finished the race, even though there were more than that still alive on that very last lap.
Yeah.
But pretty typical Daytona finish, I would say. A lot of chaos.
Everybody wants to win it. It's like,
and when you're all driving that close to each other,
yeah.
You're gonna.
It'll always be funny to me that this is like the Super Bowl for NASCAR and it's the first race.
Yeah.
I get why, because they probably figure that more people are going to watch the first race of the season than the last race.
Right. It gets the juices flowing. I mean, if especially if you take it back to how NASCAR's season used to go, if you put Daytona last, it would be a meaningless race because the winner of the championship would already be decided.
Yeah.
Or more often than not.
So why not? First thing,
start off with a bang.
Start off with a bang.
Yeah.
Biggest race of the season, and it is.
Yeah. And also, like, if you put it in the middle of the season, people will be like, all right, well, I've already been into NASCAR. I'm not going to just get psyched up because this is another race on the schedule.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to your parents for hosting us.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Glad some people made it over.
It was also nice to see Danny, Garrett, and Sean. Hadn't seen them. Well, I hadn't seen them since we got back.
Right.
I know you saw Danny, a day prior, a couple days prior. Really good time. We got after it.
Yeah.
Sean left early. Danny left after the race, but he had to do some family stuff, which is, I totally get.
Yeah.
Garrett stayed for the long haul.
Yeah.
With all of us, and we got fucking hammered. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. We got fucking hammered.
We put a nice dent in a handle of bourbon.
Bro, I was pounding old fashions like it was water.
Yeah.
It's probably why I was bedridden until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. Awful. Awful stuff. Good stories, though.
I knew, when I was, it got to that point where I was kind of tired of drinking beer, because that's what we drink all day.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll see if the guys want old fashions. And you guys both didn't hesitate. I was like, oh, this is going to go bad. This is going to go so fast. And of course it did.
Like I've told you, I told your parents earlier, I'm due for about 2 of those kind of nights a year. Luckily for me,
Check one off.
Check one off already early in the year. I'm already scared for the next one. Hopefully it's later on down the line.
It'll be at Sonoma.
No, I refuse.
I refuse.
I cannot be the most hammered person at the race.
That was something special.
It was. So good times at Daytona. Apparently, the NASCAR races and NASCAR in general brings up the worst to me when it comes to drinking. Can't really explain it.
So yeah, that's it for Daytona. Fontana.
You're not going to give any.
If you want.
I don't know. Might as well just. We're not gonna do this all the time anymore. So
Right.
might as well just give it off the bat.
Yeah, I mean,
NASCAR standings.
yeah, no one really scored big. Joe Logano was the only, or I guess Chris Bell did as well. Only top 5 finishes. So Alex is sole possession of first place.
Alex with the rare sole possession of first
Yeah.
place. Might be the first time she's ever been in first place
Yeah.
at any point ever since she's joined
She got
this pool. So congratulations to her.
2 whole points.
2. Count them.
I think everything notable from here is the fact that Danny and Garrett both have -2.
Love that.
both their drivers crashed out of the race.
I am at a cool 0.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
And then we have in the middle Devin, myself, and Dylan all with 1 point.
Hey, shout out to Devin for first year joining the pool.
Got a top 5 finish.
Got a
already.
top 5 finish already.
Yeah. No W's yet. It always gets more interesting when people start winning races. So
Yes.
I'm hoping for that this week. Get somebody on the board.
And like we've said in the past, we're not going to talk a ton about NASCAR throughout this podcast.
Yeah. So for those of you that are like, oh, why are they talking so much about NASCAR? They put in like 10 minutes already. Don't worry, this is not going to be regular.
No, it won't be.
Even if there is NASCAR mentions, the next long one will probably be when we go to Sonoma.
Yeah. And that'll be a good one.
Yes. Then that's 4 months or 3.5 months away.
Oh, man. June. Can't come quick enough. Cannot come quick enough.
Okay. Now to the next most exciting sport in our podcast this week. Champions League. First legs of round of 16 are in the books. They wrapped up today. I did watch a game yesterday and a game today.
There you go.
Yesterday's
Must
results.
be nice to have time.
Yeah, right. I just can't wait till PSG gets back out there in a few weeks, or 2 weeks rather.
But we shouldn't watch them because they lose when we watch them, apparently.
They don't lose when we watch; they lose when we're in Paris.
There we go.
Well, maybe you can't watch. I don't know.
Well, I can't watch anyways. I mean, we should be good now.
Right. But anyways, yesterday's results: Napoli, they're gonna head back home with a 2-0 lead over Frankfurt. Also, the game I watched was Real Madrid, who had a furious comeback after trailing 2-0 early against Liverpool. They scored 5 unanswered goals, so they're pretty much gonna be moving on, even with one more leg to play.
I know somebody who was very happy about this
Yes. Me and Sal were texting back and forth with you in the group. I know you weren't you weren't chiming in, but I'm sure you read them.
win. Oh, you read it.
But yeah, it got out to an ugly start for Madrid, but they did what they usually do in the Champions League, and that's just put the pedal to the metal when they need to.
Hey.
They did it to us last year. And then today's results: Inter Milan went up 1-0 against Porto, and Leipzig and Manchester City, which I watched, they drew 1-1. Not the most exciting games, but hey.
Soccer kind of isn't the most exciting game to watch.
Yeah, it can
In
be,
my opinion.
it can be slow.
In my opinion.
I do love though how it's different than any other sport that the clock just moves, and you've got to kind of it forces the players to keep the ball moving.
Yeah.
Even though it's not always like creating chances, but
Maybe baseball will kind of go to that eventually.
yeah.
Since they want to speed the fucking game up so much.
I think this is going to be a little refreshing for a lot of fans how baseball goes this year. We'll see how it goes, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. The second legs will resume March 7th. That is in just under 2 weeks. PSG plays March 8th in Munich.
The revenge game.
Yes, down 1-0, but Mbappe's going to play the whole game this time. So
It's over.
get ready. Get ready, Baron.
All I know is when he came into the game when we were
It was
there,
different.
It was different. It was different. Hey, believe me, we were there.
Yes.
Oh,
If only they could have changed the game going in our direction instead of
Right.
the other way. But hey.
So on to the NBA. Like we said, it was All-Star Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I'm going to start out with, I kind of laid it out differently than you, so I'm going to go the way I did it.
Sure.
No offense, sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Celebrity All-Star Game.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
DK Metcalf.
Just throwing hammers.
won the MVP. He had a couple dunks, looking like T.O. out there.
He did, yes.
And he played so well in this game that the NFL was trying to drug test him after. Can you blame him? The dude's just massive.
Yeah, I mean, he's an athlete.
He was throwing down dunks that were like LeBron James.
They were lightweight in-game
The
dunks.
cock back
Yeah.
in-game dunks.
I mean, he wasn't getting like way above the rim because he's only 6'4". I say only, but he's 6'4". He's not. He's like a below average NBA height guy, but yeah, he was throwing him down.
I didn't get to watch this game because I've said this before on this podcast. I love celebrity all-star games in any.
The celebrity softball game used to be a lot of fun.
I used to love watching celebrity softball. Game.
Yeah.
I just think it's so fun. The idea of it's really fun to me. It's just anything like that.
Jenny Finch talking shit to pros, former pros.
Yeah, she's still striking people out, throwing a slow pitch.
Yeah.
In the Rising Stars game, Jose Alvarado won the MVP.
Nice.
Do you know what his nickname is?
Oh, it's I do, but I forget it.
It's hilarious. It's Grand Theft Alvarado.
yeah.
And he does this because he has this thing where the opposing team will inbound the ball and they don't see him like in the corner.
Yeah, he'll like hide.
And he'll hide and he'll get it from behind him, so that's why they call him Grand Theft Alvarado. I thought that was hilarious. Team Jazz wins the skills challenge. I forgot that they do a team type thing now for the skills challenge.
Right, yeah.
Because they used to do just...
I think they've always done that. Like that's the total of like all the events accumulate in a team event or like the team score.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's cool for the Team Jazz because
They hosted.
they hosted.
Yeah.
You gotta love that. Damian Lillard won the 3-point contest. Surprisingly, his first one that he's won. You know,
I would have thought he would have had one already too.
We know Damian Lillard as a sharpshooter. Probably, if it wasn't for Steph Curry, like I've said before, he'd probably be one of the best shooting point guards of all time, and he still is. But he's not the best. He probably would be the best.
Yeah.
If Steph Curry didn't exist.
Right.
But Damian Lillard's still top 5 in that category, which is nothing. He's no slouch.
Yeah.
The man of the weekend, if you're asking me, it's Matt McClung. Did you have any idea who this guy was?
Yeah.
Oh, because he played for the Warriors. Or he played in the Warriors organization.
Right.
I had no idea who this man was, and he absolutely owned this dunk contest.
I remember seeing some of his videos before he was even in college, or maybe when he was in college, but it was like his high school tapes because he was famous for like throwing down nasty dunks.
This dude was making it look easy, and I'm gonna go there. I've never seen a pure white guy win the dunk contest before. I don't think I have.
You know, Brett Barry has won one.
Okay, I bet you he's the last full white guy.
Because that was like late '90s.
I bet you he's the last white guy to win the dunk contest.
Probably.
Because Blake Griffin, he won it, but he's not like us. You know? But just, this dude came out of nowhere and threw these dunks down. I thought were pretty impressive and pretty original.
Yeah.
Because now you see the dunk contest, and a lot of these guys are throwing down dunks that and
it's just how creative can you get?
I was just gonna say it's hard.
It
It's hard
feels
to
like
get more
everything's been
creative.
taken, right?
And I kind of hate when people do like jump over the people, which is it's really
It's
impressive.
so
Don't,
old.
Don't get me wrong. Like I could never
It's
in a
so
million years
overdone.
jump over 2 people and dunk the basketball
Right.
like Matt McClung did.
Yeah.
Did you know that Matt McClung is apparently related to Riff Raff the rapper?
I think you said that the other day.
And Riff Raff claims to have been a good basketball player too in his day. So maybe
It's in the genes.
Maybe it's in the blood. One last thing I'm going to say about Matt McClung is, so his career earnings up to this point were, I saw $106,000, which that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. He won $100,000 that night for winning the dunk contest.
Good for him.
So he almost doubled his earnings in the NBA that night.
Cha-ching.
So congrats.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I hope he comes back next year. I hope he's still in the league next year to be able to make it.
I feel
to
like
the dunk contest. I want to say he got signed. The Sixers actually signed him after this.
Okay, I was going to say, I feel like, is he going to be a rotational guy? Probably not, but I feel like he's good enough to be the 15th man on the team.
I think the NBA doesn't have any choice, regardless if he's in the league or not, to bring him back.
Right, after that.
Because after that, the NBA is thinking, our ratings, Twitter is going off.
Yeah.
This is something that they have to do, is bring this man back regardless. And I don't know who's going to take him down. If John Morant wants to join, he's already said he doesn't want to do anything like this, which I think is kind of lame. But I get you don't want to get hurt and all that kind of stuff. So let's see if anybody can take the crown from our boy Mac McClung. Did I say Matt earlier?
I think you were saying Matt, but yeah, it is Mac.
Mac, excuse me. Mac.
Maybe
M-A-C, Mac McClung. The All-Star game, the actual game.
Lamb.
Jason Tatum won the MVP. He dropped 55. Double nickel.
Yeah. All-star record.
Is it?
Yeah.
All-Star record, yes. For some reason, I heard that he dropped 60. But no, it was 55.
Yeah, not bad.
But like you said, this game stunk overall. This was a record low for viewage, I believe, for this game. 4.5 million, and don't get me wrong. I would love to have 4.5 million people listen to us.
Yeah, right.
But for the NBA, this has got to be low.
Yeah.
And this is a combined viewage for TNT and TBS.
Yeah.
So I want to say they probably made them or had them on both.
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't think
I saw TNT and TBS. Thought that was kind of
I
weird.
don't know why they would do both. That feels like a waste of...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, I mean, they just... And we...
Well, that's because people know what they're getting. Like, you knew you were going to get exactly what you saw if you watched it.
And I'll be real with you. I remember watching the beginning of it. I do know that we turned it off after a point because of how bad it was.
Yeah, we watched like 5 minutes, and then we tuned back in after we were a little toasted.
We turned it off to watch, Triple D?
Yeah.
Our boy Guy.
Gui. Guy Fire.
Are you one of those people that says Guy Fieri, or do you say Guy Fieri?
Oh, Fieri.
Of course. Thank you.
Fieri. Fieri.
I'm not gonna walk around and be that bitch to say, oh, it's Guy Fieri.
Am I Italian? No. Fucking Italian.
Oh, you're not Italian?
No.
I thought everybody claims to be Italian.
No, I'm not Danny, okay? Love you, Darts.
I'll usually text you. You ready
Are
for
you
that?
talking shit?
Other NBA news that I wanted to... Other NBA stuff that I wanted to bring up. The Cavs announced that they're going to retire Kevin Love's number 0.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's well deserved.
It's kind of... I was a little surprised that they were buying him out. And he did eventually sign with the Heat. Excuse me.
Of course, he, out of the big three of LeBron, Kyrie, and him, has been on the Cavs this whole time. You know, you kind of forget about the Cavs. You know, they have been good the past couple of years, but yet you kind of forget that Kevin Love is on the team.
Right.
Because of LeBron moving and then Kyrie moving on like 3 times after.
Right.
So congrats to him. I think it's well deserved. To me, if they're retiring number 0, which I like the number 0, this means they're no doubt. This was no doubt they're going to retire LeBron's number. And they're going to retire.
Right.
He's going to get a statue.
Right.
It's going to be him blocking Iguodala. I'm sorry. That's probably what it's going to be.
So Iguodala's getting a statue?
Well, it's going to be like Iguodala's arm.
Okay.
And that means they're. I bet you they'll retire Kyrie Irving's number 2 eventually.
They should have LeBron doing the Jordan logo.
That would be such a whiff. That would be the biggest whiff in statue history. They can't do that.
That'd be fun.
I'd start a petition. Tear this down.
Anyways.
And then, yeah, like you said, he got, bought out. And I heard the Heat are in the works. That he might.
I think it's already
done.
pretty much done
deal.
Or it's expected.
And speaking of done deals, which I just saw on Instagram about 40 minutes ago, Russell Westbrook is officially with the Clippers because he was.
Yeah, I meant to write that down.
They posted something about an hour ago
Yeah.
of him practicing with them. That's gonna be. Is that kind of nice for Russell Westbrook to not really
Doesn't have to go anywhere.
doesn't have to move,
Yeah.
and he just goes to
Just-
to the other locker room.
Yes.
Will this make a difference for the Clippers?
I think I jokingly said, well, there goes the Clippers season yesterday after I saw this.
He's not going to start though.
Okay, here's the way that Russell Westbrook helps the Clippers. He doesn't play any minute. He plays minimal minutes in the fourth quarter, and he just gives you a burst off the bench. But if he plays in the last 5 minutes of the game, he will fuck things up for them, which I don't expect them to be in that rotation. I'm sure they already have that set at this point. But yeah, he can't play any kind of a prominent role down the stretch in games for them.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't space the floor, he's turnover prone and a little bit out of control. So, but I think he could be valuable in the middle part of the game.
Yeah. You got anything else?
Hawks fired Nate McMillan. which I didn't really think I cared, but it sounds like they're going to go after Quinn Snyder, which he's a pretty good coach.
Yeah.
Formerly with the Jazz, took them to plenty of playoff appearances.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Quinn Snyder always looked like he was strung out.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't know what it was.
I think it's just like the curly, like half gelled hair.
It's probably the stress of being an NBA coach, too.
Right.
You got to be built different to do something like that. I couldn't imagine.
Also, I mean, you know, we just had the All-Star break. It's kind of getting down to the stretch of the NBA season. 25-ish games left. Yeah, I'll take one of those. Yeah.
You want a latte? Or...
I'll start with the Coors Latte. We're kind of getting into the stretch run of the NBA season. So I think next week we should do the first edition of Contender Rankings this year.
Do you want to?
If you're ready for it. Unless you want to push it back 1 week. Give us some time to... I know we haven't watched...
Let's push it back 1 week.
Okay.
So not next week, but the week prior, we can have it ready.
Sounds like a plan.
And speaking of rankings, I gotta say, is my Sacramento Kings,
Number 3 in the West.
they really gotta have a downfall for them not to make the playoffs.
Oh, they're gonna be minimum playing. Minimum.
It has to be.
Right. Which, to be honest, they're not like that far ahead of 7th place, which would be in the plan. So they got to keep it together a little bit.
I forgot the West is
pretty much
pretty tight.
But if they didn't make the play-in, that would be catastrophic.
Just make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Can you just break the 16-year, 17-year streak that you guys got, that we got? I'll say we.
I'm with you. I'll say we. What say you?
And now I just cracked open a nice NASCAR special.
Yes.
Miller Pint. Dude, the pints.
That was my beer of 2022.
This one in specific or any pint?
Like that one, Miller Lite pints. When you get them to the perfect temperature, sorry to cut you off, but when you get them to the perfect temperature, it's hard to beat them.
The Miller Pints or any, even the Coors Light, like Emerson's got. The Coors Light pints? Do they make Bud Light pints too? Do they? Maybe not.
Not this shape.
Okay.
Because that's a different company. These are Coors, Miller's, same company.
These are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
They really are.
Of course I can't get this open.
And you can reseal them if you want to.
Right.
If you're one of those guys who can't finish your beer.
Well, I feel like it's probably good for, like, if you're not drinking it, put it back on. It keeps the temperature down.
Yeah, it's probably like having not a koozie, but it keeps the freshness in, yes.
Right.
Or let's say
Keeps the suds from getting out, too.
Let's say you drink half, you go pick your kid up from school, you could
Throw it in the fridge.
throw it in the fridge real quick. One of those
I didn't know you were going to pick up your kid from school.
I'm not talking from experience, I'm just talking in general.
Also forgot to mention, we always do this, but we're watching hockey today.
We are.
We
are hockey guys.
I like
Well,
hockey.
you're more of a hockey guy than me, but I do love my hockey.
Can we go to a game? I got one on the schedule that I put the arrow in. Put the dart in it, if you're interested.
What's the date and what's the
It
team
is
that the Sharks are playing?
March 11th against the Minnesota Wild.
I mean, what day of the week is that?
That is a Saturday evening.
Saturday evening.
Mm-hmm. I really wanted to go to that Capitals game the week before, but I got something going on that day.
What do you got going on?
I'm taking the class.
There you go. Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, Saturday for me, I could do like a half day. I mean, I couldn't do it. I couldn't work a whole day at work.
Right.
It's doable. Or I could at least get off like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact times. I feel like it's 6 o'clock, but
So I'd probably have to get off like just to be safe.
Because I don't think they start any later than 7.
We can talk about it. I know Devin and I were talking about going to a Kings game. That was kind of like a meet.
Sacramento Kings?
Yeah.
LA Kings?
Yeah, we're gonna drive down to LA and see the Kings play. I would love to see a Sharks game. We haven't. You did say in the new year that you want to see a Sharks game because you want to see
Yeah,
it.
2023. I'm sure the tickets are plummeting.
Yeah, because they sing.
And the trade deadline's coming up. You know, we got a couple guys on the block.
Yeah.
Eric Carlson, Timo Meyer could be out of town. Would definitely drive the prices down.
Yeah,
But-
we can talk about it.
Okay.
I'm about to do in your infamous group text.
Yes, float it.
You're a floater. You're a floater.
Hello, is there anyone out there? Okay. Last but not least, football news.
I gotta say, You took both of my things I was going to mention before last call.
Do you want to start then?
Yeah, so the XFL started this weekend. Did you watch anything?
I want to say I flipped on a game for like a split second. But
I did not.
Yeah.
Didn't you say something about spring football and just how they're trying too much with it?
Well, I don't like that there's 2 leagues going on. There's not enough good football players. There's not enough good football players in the NFL alone. But there's not enough good football players to create 2 more leagues with 8 teams each, I think. I don't know how many USFL is, but...
Do you think... I'm gonna throw you something here, I think you're going to like it. Do you think they're figuring, hey, these guys, or these people who like to watch football, you know, they're watching college every week, and these guys are big-time amateurs. So why not think that they could watch our spring leagues too? Because you got to think, the people that are in these leagues are just as good as the people that play in college.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or the people who don't make it to, the people who don't make it to the NFL, obviously.
I mean, I think there's plenty of players that... these guys are better than a lot of players in college.
Yes.
Not better than all of them, though, I don't think. I mean, like, a lot of the top prospects that are coming out of college are probably still better than these guys.
Yes.
Maybe their game isn't as refined, but I think there's still plenty of college players that are better than guys going to the XFL or USFL.
The only thing that college has on these leagues, in my opinion, and what's the difference, is that it's been established for 100 years.
Yes, its branding is huge.
Yeah. You give the XFL 100 years and you give the USFL 100 years, it would be the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how it's going to come about because of them competing. I mean, they're not competing with the season, but they're competing with the quality of players with the NFL. So I just wonder if, like, is there going to really be a true following? I feel like those teams need to be in places that don't have professional football, which that's not really the case. I think most of these teams are in big cities that have pro football already.
And can we get a fucking team in San Francisco or San Jose or something?
That would be cool.
It just, I mean, honestly, if there was one, like if they brought back,
If they put one in SAC or San Jose, that would totally.
If they brought back the Demons, they wouldn't call it the Demons anymore. But
Yeah.
I mean, if they did something like that, I'd be totally like. I think my dad told me that he took me to an XFL game.
That's awesome.
I wish I could remember, but I just don't.
Yeah, I think Sacramento would be the better play because there was already obviously the Mariners playing in the South Bay Area.
And they don't have any football team in Sacramento.
I mean, no.
Well, no, they don't. Like they don't.
Right. Yeah. Unless you watch Sac State football, but that doesn't count.
Any professional
Yeah.
football. I think it's a good call. I think San Jose would be cool too.
The only thing is, like, San Jose is right next to Santa Clara, so.
I think the only thing going for a San Jose team is that they could play at, what's it, PayPal Park now? PayPal Stadium?
Where the Quakes play?
play?
Yeah, they could. Or they could just play at Levi's. I don't know if the Niners would.
It's too big. I mean, it's too big of a venue.
It is. Unless you just sell at the bottom level, but.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I know they do that at WMEA games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm not against the XFL.
No, I'm not against it either. The only I'm really rooting for the XFL. Like, I hope they can actually make it to a second season in a row.
Because I actually, when they did it, what was it, 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the pandemic happened, that screwed the season.
Yeah.
I thought it was fairly entertaining, I guess. I mean, there was some. I remember PJ Walker, who plays for, or did play for Carolina, the Panthers.
Didn't he play for the
He
Commanders
was playing for, maybe, yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, maybe because Ron Rivera might have been the coach there, and then, yeah. Anyhow, I remember him being a standout in the XFL, so, I mean, he was, close to.
You know who's in the XFL now is AJ McCarron.
I know, I was going to ask, did you know? And Josh Gordon. Did you know Josh Gordon's playing?
Josh Gordon's in the XFL?
I'm pretty damn sure. I read his name.
Dude, man. One of the biggest what ifs.
Right.
I mean, we knew he had the beginning of his career was great.
Right.
But just he couldn't.
I feel like he kind of got blackballed by the NFL a little bit.
He couldn't seem to get his own way. Yeah.
Former Browns receiver. He plays for the Sea Dragons. That's not the same team as McCarron, is it?
No, I don't believe so. You know what's funny about AJ McCarron? I think I've told you this before. Maybe not on this podcast. But I thought AJ McCarron was going to be like the next really good, like not great, I won't say great, but I thought he was going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL.
Really?
I thought he had that in him.
I mean, he was very successful at Alabama, so kind of gave you reason to believe that he could be at least something.
Yeah.
But no, he never was even close to being a starter, really.
Mm-hmm.
5th round pick, though. You don't have high expectations
Oh,
for
he was
those
that
guys.
late, huh?
Yeah. I thought he was a little higher than that, too.
I guess that makes more sense. He was just. I mean, I know it's in Alabama, and it's.
He had the look too, though. I mean,
Exactly.
6'3", 220 pounds. It's pretty average.
And you're playing the SEC, which is the closest thing that people say to the NFL.
Right. And I don't feel like he necessarily lit it up, but he won at least one national championship, right? If not 2.
3.
3.
Well,
he may not have been a starter in 2010, though.
No, I don't think so.
That may have been like Greg McElroy or somebody.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But I really want to know who the quarterback was.
Just
now.
go down. I think you can go down and tell you the starting lineups, maybe.
Stats. No. Was this one of those ones where they didn't have any touchdown passes?
The Texas one that
I think this is the one I talked about
Yeah.
like a few months ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. What a terrible game. Yeah, Alabama.
Remember that Alabama LSU game? It was probably 2012 or 2013. They called it game of the century.
And it was terrible.
But it wasn't the national championship game.
Yeah, it was the one in the regular season. It was like 9-6.
Yeah, it was a field goal game.
I mean,
I think they literally would call it the game of the century.
stupid.
Or it was...
at least like the matchup wise.
It was hyped.
Yeah. I mean, it was 1 versus 2, right?
I believe so. They had to have been both either undefeated or maybe LSU had 1 loss or vice versa.
I mean, I'm not against saying that like a defensive struggle could be a good game, but I'm just like when there's not a single touchdown scored, like that's a stretch.
Yeah. I could see myself eventually rooting for maybe teams in the USFL or the XFL or, those are only 2 out. It's not, there's no more AAF, right?
No, it's just those 2. I think it's kind of stupid that there's 2. Like they should be working together to have 1 league.
It just seems overkill. Like, do we really want to water down football like this? Like, do we really need football year round? Do we?
The only thing I like, and I think the NFL is teaming up with one of these leagues. I can't remember which one, but to test out like different rules. Okay. That's the only thing that I find interesting about it. The XFL is doing the 1, 2, and 3-point conversions after touchdowns, which I think is kind of fun. And they don't kick. It's all you got to actually score from a certain distance to get those points, which I think that's kind of fun. They also have an interesting like onside kick replacement where
I can see that.
You got to get 15 yards on a play.
It's a 4th and 15. If you don't get it, then
you give the ball back at that spot. Yeah. And the kickoffs are kind of interesting. I think I like because it's definitely there for player safety because they put everybody a lot closer together. So it's more like a running play with a bunch of blockers in front of you.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, XFL's whatever. I can't say I'm going to pay attention to it.
No.
Same with USFL. USFL doesn't start till April, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when baseball will be around, and that's what I'll be watching.
And the XFL is more ESPN, and the USFL is more Fox Sports.
Correct.
Gotcha.
College football is looking at a couple rule changes to shorten games. I'd like to hear your opinions on these. One of them is not stopping the clock anymore after first downs, like you see, especially comes into play late in the game.
Does that happen after every first down in every game?
I believe so, throughout the whole game, yeah. I mean, it stops until they set the ball
down.
Right, yeah. So, but it comes into play more so in the last few minutes of the game when teams are trying to come back. The other one is keeping the clock running after incomplete passes, which I don't think I like this one at all. It seems a little weird. It seems like if you're watching youth sports, like like if you're watching youth basketball and a kid gets fouled, they keep the clock running because they're like, we're not wasting any more time watching these kids play.
The first one I like stopping the clock. No more stopping the clock after the first downs.
Right.
Because that's more of an NFL vibe.
Right. Correct.
Yes. Yeah. The second one,
I can't imagine they would actually do that.
I can't get on board with this one.
There's no way they would do it. Because that means, would that also apply if you're trying to spike the ball? I think that would be an interesting, or if they would differentiate that.
Because it wouldn't matter at that point.
Yeah, because if you can't spike the ball if that's the case,
No,
right?
no.
Unless they're not calling it an incomplete pass. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I've seen some mixed opinions, watching sports talk, about the first down rule. And some people love it because they feel like it's different from the NFL. But my thought is, like, why does it have to be thought of as whether it's different or the same as the NFL? Like, I think it just, these games run ridiculously long sometimes, especially the bowl games. They're going 4 hours because they have the 30-minute halftime for one.
Yeah.
A lot of these teams run high-tempo offenses too, where you're getting like 100 plays a game, when in the NFL you see 60 to 70 plays a game for each team.
Why are we trying to shorten games? Why are we trying to shorten games when it comes to any kind of league, or when it comes to football, when it comes to baseball? If people don't like the length of the games right now, how they are, I don't think they're ever going to like it. I mean, I appreciate sports, clearly.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know you do too. I don't mind watching a baseball game that's 4 hours. I know 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't mind watching a college football game that's 3 or 4 hours. But if we're talking about halftime's half an hour, how about we cut that in half?
Right.
How about we cut that by 10%?
Yeah, they do it at the bowl games. That's different. But like, even a regular season game can go 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
When they're not doing that. But
I don't. It doesn't bother me how long things go, how long games go. I know maybe I'm different than everybody else.
yeah. No, I think I heard that too. That people like the fact that they get to sit down for 4 hours and watch a college football game.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't like. There is a degree of like, well, this game is being stretched out for no reason. Like, it's not because it's there's too many commercials for one, especially in college football.
But they have to have
those. So like, do something.
I guess they have to have the half times too, because I'm sure there's a lot of commercials that they have to get through at that point too.
I think that I believe that college football half times are 20 minutes normally, which they should probably bring that down to 15, because NFL it's only 12 minutes.
Yeah,
like they're boom boom. They have an agenda to get a game done in 3 minutes or 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours and 15
and they normally,
at the very most.
They normally get that done.
Right. For me, like, though, when it gets to a point, especially, like, I don't have a team that I really like. Stanford, of course, but I don't watch Stanford football right now. They suck.
On the same exact way.
Yeah.
I've always pulled for Cal, but I do not have a definitive team that I root for like I do for the Cowboys.
Right.
Not even close.
So for me, when I'm watching two teams that I don't have, a dog in the fight, I don't need the game to be 4 hours personally. Like, just let's get this thing going. I want to get on to the next game. I want more content, more different content. I don't need to see Oklahoma State play, Texas Tech for 4 hours. Like, if that's wrapped up in 3 hours, that's plenty for me.
Yeah. Well, I could be the asshole and say we'll just turn it off.
True, but I want to see the outcome.
Yeah.
Because that's dragging on the potential outcome further. It's also, there's talk about it being a safety thing because these teams are playing, 20, 30 more plays than maybe it's necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we do differ in that regard. I think it's hard to compare this to baseball because baseball doesn't have a clock. This does have a clock that is stopped for certain reasons and not for others.
Yeah. And we're talking about rules, but we're still not talking about getting both feet in.
That's
when
when
you catch a ball and then down by contact.
Yeah. To me, that's one. If you really cared about college and NFL being different, keep that one. That's fine. But I do agree with you.
We've talked about this many times.
Yeah, I like the 2 feet in that the NFL has and the down by contact that the NFL has.
It's just
much more.
Those are the rules that need to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
or I guess it's what differentiates both of them.
Right. But all these guys are striving to go to the NFL.
Exactly.
Right?
Of all these big name guys that we're watching, that are on ABC on Saturday nights, because those are the best players that are playing most time.
Right.
Why don't we have these rules for these guys, because they're trying to make it to the next level.
Right.
So, if you don't like the games and how long they are, then don't watch.
Right.
I'm sorry. The NCAA is not going to tell you that. The MLB is not going to tell you that. But turn the game off. Okay? And don't go to the games. If you're going to a game on a Tuesday night at Oracle Park, and your kid has school at 8 in the morning the next day, and the game happens to go to 11 innings, you should put that into consideration in the first place. I'm sorry.
Right.
right? A
No,
little
yeah.
bit.
Well, and to me, baseball also differentiates from football in that, you can leave a baseball game easily. Like, if you get to the fourth quarter and the game's close in the NFL, or football, rather, you're not leaving that game.
No.
You can leave a close baseball game, throw it on the radio. It's
I
not,
was
that,
gonna
it's
throw
not
it
that
on-
big a deal.
throw it-
It's
throw
really
it
not
on.
that big a deal. But you don't want to leave a close football game. You can't get the same content out of radio
No.
in football.
Well, I think also you probably don't want to leave the football game because of how fewer games there are in the season to play.
Makes them much more meaningful. Yeah.
In baseball, you go to a game and
It's 1 of 162.
like July 15th, and you're like, oh, like it's if the Giants lose, it's not the end all be all.
Right. I'm personally inclined to stay for that, whatever the case may be.
If I'm going
But-
to a baseball game, I'm staying for the whole game.
Right.
We've done this before.
We've been to a basically 6-hour game before.
Yes, we've done that. So I don't mind. Like this game we're watching right here, Blackhawks Stars. This could go to 3 overtimes, and I would be here watching probably all 3 overtimes. You know
Probably.
why? Because 1, it's something to watch, and 2, I actually enjoy watching sports.
Yeah.
Can it be boring? Yeah, but it's still something to watch.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather watch this than watch Property Brothers or Triple D. I'm sorry. That's just not my feng shui. It's just not what I do.
No, I'm with you.
Thank you.
No, I'm with you for sure.
That's why we're here. That's,
Yeah.
why we do this.
That's why we talk about sports. But personally, still, I don't need a 4-hour football game. If they can bring it down to 3.5 max, I'm cool with that.
That's fair.
That would be my preference. Few NFL notes. Derek Carr met with the Jets recently. He is expected to meet with other teams. His brother, David Carr, said that it's expected to be a long process in free agency.
I want to say I saw that one of the Jets' pitches to Derek Carr was that, if you play with us,
You could be a Hall of Famer.
you'd be a Hall of Famer.
I heard that too. We'll see.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drink to that. I don't know about that. I mean, Derek Carr is a nice player and all that, but come on. You know what else I heard today? I want to say this is what I heard correctly. That Daniel Jones is wanting $45 million.
Yeah,
a
that
year.
sounds ridiculous.
Are you kidding me? You go to playoffs once? Is it the first time he's been in the playoffs?
Oh yeah.
And you want $45 million a year? You think you're Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I think what I've heard also is that by saying that he's trying to leverage them into forcing him to franchise tag him, which is probably going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
But and that way he can, if he plays better than he did even last year, then maybe he gets, a better long-term contract than he would have. But personally, I think the Giants, they give him this last season, even if he plays better, but not, all world, you move on. It's time.
You got to move on. I mean, Daniel Jones, he's just... I don't even know how to... he's like Frankenstein throwing a football, dude. I just don't know how to explain it. Like, when I see Daniel Jones play the Cowboys, I'm not scared.
No, you shouldn't be.
You know who I'm scared of a little bit now is Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yeah.
The dude can play.
He's
the
good.
dude he's an absolute baller.
He can play.
You know who I'm not afraid of? Whoever the hell the Commanders got going on. I'm just not.
Heineke? Carson Wentz?
I used to be afraid of Carson Wentz until I realized I was an idiot.
Till like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Daniel Jones, he's not him.
No.
He's not as bad as Paxton Lynch, but he's
Your boy?
what could have been boy, yes. Daniel Jones, I'm sorry. I know you're listening, but I'm sorry.
Another thing I think about too is Brian Dable was the Bills' offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
For Josh Allen. You think he's not that Josh Allen's perfect, but you think he's going to want to settle for having Daniel Jones for another 5 years while being the head coach?
Brian Dable will never say it out loud, but he knows that Daniel Jones is not even close to
Not
Josh
not
Allen.
in the same.
And Josh Allen turns the ball over a lot, yes.
He's not perfect.
But I would take him over Dak Prescott. I would take him over Daniel Jones, and you would take him over Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, and Jimmy G combined.
Yeah, I think comfortably Josh Allen's in like at least the best like 6 or 7 quarterbacks, if not 4 or 5.
Yeah, 6 or 7 is probably.
Yeah.
He's top 10.
Yeah,
Easy.
Well, yeah, that's not even a question.
Yeah.
Definitely top 10.
Yeah.
But you could probably make the case for like 3 at best.
So speaking of Brock Purdy, his surgery is being delayed due to swelling, and I think the surgery is aiming for early March. Or no, he's coming back early March.
No, the surgery.
Surgery will be early March.
Yeah, hoping for surgery in early March.
I gotta say, as a Niner fan, are you a little nervous?
I mean, I think this just is kind of solidifying that Trey Lance is going to be the starter at the beginning of next season, which I'm totally okay with.
Or Jimmy G?
Jimmy G will not be in an Niner uniform next year. And I don't need to make that a bold prediction.
I think you're right.
I think it is a little disappointing for him because they say this is a 6-month timeline. So that's going to be early September at best, which the season would already be going at that point. But I think it maybe is a blessing in disguise for the Niners. They don't have to worry about, upsetting Trey Lance, if you will, for not starting him again, or not starting him at the beginning of the season. He will be the starter from day one of training camp, and hopefully get as many reps as he needs in Kyle's offense. So I think it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise, but I do feel bad for Brock Purdy because he played, above everybody's expectations.
Oh, God.
Coming off the bench.
I mean, for my money, he probably should have been the rookie of the year. I know he didn't play the whole season, but I think the story was great.
Yeah.
And he was undefeated up until the championship game.
Yeah. He probably didn't have enough time to accumulate the stats that's probably necessary to win rookie of the year.
I'm a story guy.
Yeah.
Whoever was it, the Jets guy?
Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
He probably deserved a little
Yeah, I
more.
think Chris Olave was the other guy in consideration.
Was Kenneth Walker not in the consideration?
I don't think he was, and I'm like, how the fuck?
Was he hurt? No?
He did miss some time.
Okay.
He only played like 10 or 11 games.
Kenneth Walker.
But he had a great year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ask Danny about Kenneth Walker. That's what I was
he
asking
wouldn't shut up about Kenneth Walker. So I'm just throwing some heat in Danny's direction today.
You're roasting Darts.
Still love you, Darts.
You're roasting him.
Still love you. Just the same.
He loves it.
If I wouldn't talk about him if I didn't love him, right?
Exactly.
My final note from football: the Titans have released Robert Woods and Taylor Lewan, both former studs. Lewan, a former All-Pro, and
I think Lewan, a former first-round pick or first overall pick.
Was he first overall? Maybe first, early first round.
Don't call me on it.
Yeah. I know he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. Very famous for his podcast through Barstool,
Yes.
Bussin' with the Boys. Him and Will Compton.
Can we get a part? Can we be a little?
Just a little snippet.
Can we get a little snippet of that? I think we could be okay. I think we could get along with people like that. I think we would get along with those guys.
We'd probably be considered too soft. Because they're like, all those guys are like Northeastern hard.
I mean, I could be harder if you wanted me to, but I mean, dude, just tell me how and when. I can make it happen. I mean, I'm not tough. I'm not tough, but I could talk some shit. I'm not worried.
Anyways.
Taylor Lewan, if you want to come to the Cowboys, I know you get injury prone, but hey, Cowboys pick him up. Why not?
Yeah, he's been a damn good player. Do you have anything else you want to add on the football side of things?
No. I sure don't.
I don't. Hopefully we don't have another situation like we did in France. Really glad I was able to recover that recording.
Yeah, I saw that you were able to.
I thought it was toast. I was
Really?
I was preparing to have to do some kind of intro on my own, like before, because I had the second half of the episode, but not the first half.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it all worked out.
Yes. Gage, what time is it?
That was easy.
It's time for last call.
Yes, sir. What have you?
I don't.
Yeah,
I took both my things. Travis Pastrana, congrats, and the XFL. That was what I had.
Spring training is here.
Let's go.
First game's on Friday. Also, the World Baseball Classic will begin on March 7th. First U.S. game March 11th.
Wow.
So that's less than 2 weeks from today.
Can't wait. I think the Giants game will be on the radio on Saturday, so I'll be tuning into that.
There we go.
Can't wait.
How about it? Baseball's here.
Are you going to go to opening day again?
I will not. Well, I can't go to like opening day. I could obviously go to home opener, but I do not.
Oh, okay, I meant the
Right.
home opener.
Yeah, but that will. That is not in the cards as of right now. Things could change.
Yeah.
Danny could call me at the right time.
He's going to call you and be like, hey, remember when we had season tickets for about 2 weeks?
for like 6 days.
How many games did you guys go to in that 2 weeks?
2.
Just 2?
Oh, we went to 2 of the first 6 games of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to home opener, which was like a Thursday or Friday day game, and then we went to like the following Wednesday day game. It was a good time. Won both of those games, and then only went to one more after that when we saw the walk-off.
Yeah.
I went 3-0 last year, baby. I need to go to like 12 games this year. At that rate.
You do realize if we go to the Sharks game, that the pressure's on.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. Keep it on. I can't just not go to
You
a
can't
game.
lose. You can't lose.
But I can't not to go to a game
I know.
again.
I know at this point you're picking your games wisely.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Or the
if
Wild
we go
Card.
see Minnesota, Minnesota's good. So, no guarantees whatsoever. That could be it. But I'm willing to put it out there. I've gone. I went to my very first game. I believe it was in 2007, and my most recent one, 2022.
It's a hell of a run.
So that's a 15-year run going undefeated.
The last game we went to was a little over a year ago now. Or I think it was.
Yeah, it was right around this time.
Mm.
Yeah,
Because remember
it was late February.
like right around Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like maybe the last couple days of February or something like that.
Good times.
Also, this game we're watching. Did we say who was playing? Dallas and Chicago.
I said Dallas and Chicago.
Okay, you did.
Yes. Or I said Blackhawks Stars.
Yeah.
But yes, they were from Chicago and Dallas.
It was 3-0 Dallas. It is now 4-3 Chicago.
That's right, huh? Walked in, was 3-0.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I think they had just scored the third goal when we turned this on.
Wow.
So how about those Blackhawks on the road too? And career Blackhawk Patrick Kane, he's
He's still doing it, huh?
potentially on his way out though. Trade deadline's coming up soon.
3-time champ? 2-time champ?
They won 3. Yeah, I want to say 2010, 13, and 15, something like that.
They did their best Giants impersonation.
Yeah. I was right around the same time too.
Yeah, right.
Mike Modano, what a goat. Well, I was going to say something about Connor McDavid, but I'll save that for another time since it will still be relevant all the way to the end of the season. Although he did become the 5th fastest player to 800 points, I believe it is.
McJesus?
Is it 8 or 6? Something like that.
I think it was 8.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
He's like 500 games.
Something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only his like 6th season. Yes, McJesus. You said it right.
McJesus.
McJesus. And I did not make that up. Well, we can go finish this game out in the living room.
Yes.
Thank you all for tuning in. We will be back next week, hopefully with some good content. We'll see.
Yeah.
And it's getting to that point of the season.
Are we going to
Admittedly.
go like every other week?
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe so.
We'll see.
Yeah. Actually, I won't guarantee that we'll be back next week, but
Yeah.
Regardless, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. Peace.